Hello everyone, today let's learn basics of Python. One of the main reasons why Python is widely used in scientific and research communities is because of its ease of use and simple syntax, which makes it easy for everyone to adopt. All of you know that Python is a snake, but here Python is a programming language. Python is dynamic, high-level, free, open source and interpreted programming language. It supports object-oriented programming as well as procedure-oriented programming. In Python, we don't need to declare the type of variable because it's dynamically typed language. Next, moving on to the features of Python. The first one is easy to code. Python is high-level programming language. Python is very easy to learn language as compared to other languages like C, C++, JavaScript, Java, etc. It is very easy to code in Python language and anybody can learn Python basics in few hours or days. It's also developer-friendly language. Next, free and open source. Python language is freely available at its official website and we can download it. Since it is open source, this means that its source code is available to the public. So we can download it as and use it and share it as well. Next, the third one is object oriented. One of the key features of Python is object-oriented programming. Python supports object-oriented language and concepts of classes, objects encapsulation, etc. The fourth one is high-level language. Python is a high-level language. When we write programs in Python, we don't need to remember the system architecture, nor do we need to manage the memory. The fifth feature is portable language. Python language is a portable language. For example, if we have Python code for Windows and if we want to run this code on other platforms such as Linux, Unix and Mac, then we don't need to change it. We can run this code on any platform. The sixth feature is large standard library. Python has a large standard library which provides a rich set of modules and functions, so you do not have to write your own code for every single thing. There are many libraries present in Python for such as regular expressions, unit testing, web browsers, etc. The seventh feature is dynamically typed language. Python is a dynamically typed language. That means the type for variable is decided at runtime, not in advance. Because of this feature, we don't need to specify the type of variable. We have come across features of Python. Next, moving on to keywords. What are these keywords? Keywords are the reserved words in Python. We can't use a keyword as a variable name, function name, or any identifier. They are used to define the syntax and structure of Python language. In Python, keywords are case sensitive. Next, let's see what are data types in Python. The first one is text type. String comes under text data type. The string can be defined as the sequence of characters represented in any quotation marks. In Python, we can use single, double or triple quotes to define a string. String handling in Python is a straightforward task since there are various inbuilt functions and operators provided. Next, moving on to numeric data types. Integer, float and complex comes under numeric data types. Signed integers like 10, 12, 29, etc. comes under int type. Float is used to store floating point numbers like 1.9 or any decimal numbers. Under complex numbers, 2.14j, 2 plus 2.3j comes under complex numeric data type. Next is the mapping data type. Dictionary comes under mapping types. Dictionary is an ordered set of a key value pair of items. It is like an associative array or a hash table where each key stores a specific value. Key can hold any primitive data types, whereas value is an arbitrary Python object. The items in the dictionary are separated by commas and enclosed in curly brackets. The next data type is set type. The data type set, which is a collection type. A set contains an unordered collection of unique and immutable objects. The set type, as the name implies, a Python implementation of sets as they are known from mathematics. This explains why sets, unlike lists or tuples, can't have multiple occurrences of the element. Another one is frozen set. Frozen set is just an immutable version of a Python set object. While elements of a set can be modified at any time, elements of frozen set remains the same after creation. Due to this, frozen sets can be used as key in dictionary or as an element of any other set. Next is Boolean data type. It has two possible values, true and false, which are special versions of 1 and 0 respectively and behave such as arithmetic contexts. Next is sequence type. List, tuple and range comes under sequence data types. Lists. Lists are similar to arrays in C. However, the list can contain data of different types. The items stored in the lists are separated with a comma and enclosed with square brackets. We can use slice operators to access the data of the list. The concatenation operator and repetition operator works with the list in the same way as they were working with the string. Next one is tuple. Tuple is similar to list in many ways. Like lists, tuples also contain the collection of items of different data types. The items of the tuple are separated by comma and enclosed in parentheses. A tuple is a read-only data structure as we can't modify the size and value of the items of a tuple. Next, let's see binary data types. Bytes, byte array and memory view comes under binary data types. The bytes type in Python is immutable and stores a sequence of values ranging from 0 to 255. You can get the value of a single byte by using index like an array, but the value cannot be modified. Byte array is used to create a mutable object. Next, let's see what are expressions. A Python expression describes a computation or operation performed on a data. It is the basic building block of all programs. It evaluates to a single Python value and may be using several operands. Variables. In Python, variables are storage placeholder for texts and numbers. It must have a name so that you are able to find it. The variable is always assigned with the equal sign followed by the value of the variable. Next, let's see what are operators in Python. There are special symbols in Python that carry out arithmetic or logic computation. The first type of operator is arithmetic operator. Arithmetic operators are used to perform mathematical operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. Let's look at first example. 1 plus 1 gives 2. Addition operator adds two integer data types giving rise to 2. The second example is addition of two floating point data types, that's decimal numbers. 1.0 plus 1.0 gives a decimal number or a floating point number 2.0. Addition of a floating point number and an integer number gives rise to floating point number. Next, multiplication multiplies two operands. Floating point number multiplied with an integer data type number gives floating point number as result. 10.0 multiplied by 1 gives 10.0. Multiplication of two int types gives an integer. Subtraction subtracts two operands. Two int types operands are separated. 10 minus 1 gives rise to 9. Subtraction of a floating point number from and an integer number gives floating point number. Subtraction of two floating point numbers gives floating point. Division. It's float division. 5 divided by 3 divides first operand by the second operand. The next one is modulus operator, returns the remainder when first operand is divided by the second. Next one is division, floor type division, divides the first operand by the second operand. Next one is to the power of. 5 to the power of 3 gives 125. Next, let's see comparison operator. Relational operator compares the values. It either returns true or false according to concatenation. Next, let's see comparison operator or relational operator. Relational operator compares the values. It either returns true or false according to the condition. The first one is 1 greater than 2. True if left operand is greater than the right operand. Since left operand is less than right operand, the value is returned as false. The next one is 5 greater than 4. Since left operand is greater than right operand, the value is returned as true. The next one is equal to. True if both operands are equal. Since 5 and 4 are not equal, the value is returned as false. In case when both left operand and right operand are equal, the value is returned as true. The next one is not equal to. True if operands are not equal. Since 5 is not equal to 4, the value is returned as true. In next example, we have given value of 10 to A and 5 to B, and greater than or equal to operator is used here. True if left operand is greater than or equal to right operand. A is assigned as 10. Since 10 is greater than 5, the value is returned as true. But if A is less than or equal to B, since A is not less than or equal to B, the value is returned as false. Next type of operators are logical operators. First, let's assign values. A is assigned 1 and B is assigned 0. Logical operators perform logical and logical or and logical not operations. In first example, A and B, A logical and with B gives 0. We know the truth table of AND operator. 0 ANDed with 0 gives 0, 0 with 1 gives 0, 1 with 0 also gives 0, but 1 with 1 gives 1. Since A is assigned value of 1 and B is given value of 0, 1 ANDed with 0 gives 0. Similarly, we know the truth table of OR. According to that, 1 OR with 0 gives 1. Then not operator. Not is a Boolean operator. A is assigned value of 1. Not of 1 is 0 and its output is resulted as false. Then not B. B is assigned value of 0. Not 0 is 1 and it gives true. Not of A and B. A and B, 1 and 0. 1 and 0 gives 0. Not of 0 is 1 and it's given true. Next, moving on to bitwise operator. X is assigned value 2 and Y is assigned value 7. Bitwise operators acts on bits and performs bit by bit operation. Here we can see bit notation of 2 and binary equivalent of 7 respectively. In first example, X ANDed with the Y. 2 is and bit equivalent of 2 is ANDed with bit equivalent of Y, giving rise to 2. Similarly, OR operation is performed. Next example is X OR with Y. Python is case sensitive, hence we are getting error, and here we have used uppercase, so we are getting error as name X is not defined. Next is negation. Negation of y. Y is assigned value of 7. Its bit equivalent is 0 0 0 0 0 1 1 1, and its negation gives 4 ones and 1 0 0 0, that's -8. Then XOR, X XOR with Y, same bitwise calculation is performed, and we are getting result as 5. Next is right shift. Bitwise right shift is performed. The value of X is right shifted by 2 places, hence, and we are getting output as 0. Then similarly it is a left shift. X left shifted with the 2 bits, and we are getting a result as 8. Next, assignment operator. Assignment operators are used to assign values to the variables. First one is equals, assign value of right side of expression to left side operand. For example, x is equal to y plus z. Here we are assigning value of 10 to a, and we are printing it as 10. Then b is assigned value of 10. Next we have used a shorthand operator, that is b plus is equal to 10, which means that b is equal to b plus 10. B is already assigned the value of 10, and we are adding 10 to it again. Hence we get output as 20. We need not write print statement again. Instead of that, just if we write variable name to the left end of next line, we'll get output. In next example, we are writing it as b to the power 2 and printing the value of b. B we have already got as 20. 20 to the power 2 gives 400. Similarly, the next example shows b multiplied by 2. 400 multiplied by 2, and we are printing b value. 400 into 2 gives 800. This ends assignment operator. We are done with the operators, and next we'll look at some examples. The first example is we'll see how to print statements. We can use single quotes, double quotes, or triple quotes to print statement. Next is by separating with the comma, and the next one is after printing value of a, we'll have a tab space, and then the value of a is printed. A we have already given value as 10. The same is printed here. Then value of b we have executed, and the result we have got as 800 in the last step, and that same value of b is printed here as 800. Moving on to next example, the value is assigned for a as 10.0, that's floating point type, and we have used type function. Type method returns class type of the argument passed as parameter. Type function is mostly used for debugging purpose. Since we use type function here, type of a is the same is printed, and type of 10.0, that's float type, and it's printed here. Then b is assigned value of 10. 10 is int type, and we have printed the same here. Next, in next example, we have assigned value of 10 to a, and 15 is assigned to b. Y is equal to a plus b is an expression, and we have printed as y is equal to a plus b is an expression. Next example, L is equal to true and true. True is taken as a higher bit, that's like 1. 1 ANDed with 1 is 1 itself. In the same way, true ANDed with true is printed as true. Similarly, OR is executed here, and true OR with true is true. False ANDed with true is false. In next example, we have given hello as value to L, and we have not used a print statement. Instead of that, the variable is returned to the leftmost corner, and this also implies print of that statement itself, and hello is printed here. Next, type of L is string, and type method returns the type of L, that is string. Next, in next example, M is assigned a complex a number, that's 2 minus 9j, and we have printed the type of m, that is complex, and real part and imaginary part are printed separately, and m is again printed here. In next example, we will see using addition operator for concatenation. Usage of same operator to multiple purpose is called operator overloading. Here we are adding individual letters of word data. In next example, we'll see A is B, that is A is equal to B. Here A is assigned value of 10 and B is assigned value of 15. 10 and 15 are not equal, hence the value is returned as false. A is not B, that is 10 is not 15, it is returned as true. Minimum of A and B, 10 and 15. Minimum is 10, which is returned as 10. In similar manner, maximum of 10 and 15 is 15 and it is returned as 15. Moving on, next example, we'll see swapping. A is assigned value of 9 and B is assigned the value of 10. First we'll print the value of A and B respectively, and we have got as A is equal to 9 and B is equal to 10. Then we'll see swapping operation. A and B values are exchanged for B and A, and we are printing A and B values again. And since swapping is performed, A is printed the value of 10 and B is assigned value of 9. In next example, we will see greatest among two numbers, that is A is assigned value of 19 and B is assigned value of 10. And A is greater than B. Since it is true, since the expression is true, we are getting the result as true. In next example, the word string basics is assigned to first and data science is assigned to second. We are printing this course is on curly brackets of curly brackets. Here the format is first printing of the value assigned for first and then second, and hence in place of first curly brackets, the value assigned for first is printed, that is basics. This is a course on basics is printed. Then in place of second curly brackets, the value assigned for second is printed, that is data science, and hence we will result the output as this is a course on basics of data science. Then let's see the length of first, that is basics is assigned to first, hence we have obtained its length as 6. Next we'll see importing of functions. Import is in Python is similar to include header file in C or C++. Python modules can get access to code from any other module by importing the file or function using the function import. The import statement is the most common way of invoking import machinery, but it's not only the way. Here importing and the pandas is module name. When import is used, it searches for module initially in the local scope by calling import function. The value returned by the function are then reflected in the output of the initial code. We are importing pandas module as PD. This is a method of importing functions. In next example, we will see defining of function. In Python, function is group of related statements that perform a specific task. Functions help break our program into smaller and modular chunks. As our programs grows larger and larger, functions make it more organized and manageable. First we are writing as define, that is def, and then comes function name, which is a here, and inside parenthesis we can write parameters, and next comes statement line. Parameters through which we pass values to a function, they are optional, and here we have not mentioned any parameters. And then we use a colon. A colon is to mark end of function header. And next calling of this function, we have called the function a, and hence the next statement is executed, that is printing of hello, and we have got result as hello. Then y, that is we have already assigned the value of y here above as y, that is expression a plus b. 10 plus 15 is 25, and here we are calling same. We have asked to print y, that is 25. And here we are at end of examples for operators, and we have seen some examples.